Okay, so welcome to this short video just on homeostasis, and in particular how adrenaline as part of your body can change how different organs and different blood vessels and also chemical processes change in your body. So adrenaline, as you may know, is a hormone that is released from your adrenal glands, and these glands sit on top of your kidneys. And when stimulated, they will release this hormone adrenaline. In day-to-day conditions, so your normal conditions, probably what you have right now, you will be releasing some adrenaline, but they will be very, very small concentrations, so not very much whatsoever. And that's good because you don't want to have a state of constant adrenaline being released. You want it to only come out of your body when needed. And when you are put into one of these situations, it's quite often called a fight or flight situation, or a fight or flight mechanism, because what adrenaline will do is, should you have an experience, such as a frightening experience, or should you be presented with a situation that is dangerous to yourself, you need to get out of it. And one of the ways you can get out of this is by having your body respond in a way that enables you to fight that. So if you think about a lion suddenly appears in front of you, you may want to fight this lion. Alternatively, which I would suggest, you may want to run away from this lion, so the flight mechanism as well. To make these two responses happen, your body has to change, and your body has to change in order to produce more energy, and that energy production comes from respiration, so we also need to change how our body is currently respiring. For this to happen, there are three main ways in which your body will change. The first way, so if we look up in the top left-hand corner for a second, so just focusing on this area, and in fact I will zoom in very slightly so we can read it better. The first way this changes is by making our heart muscle, and the cells inside our heart muscle will make that change. It will begin to beat more rapidly, and what this in turn does is it pumps blood around your body at a faster rate. This will also increase blood pressure. The reason this is a very good thing for your body in this situation is you now have a higher amount of oxygen being delivered to your key muscles. So things like your leg muscles, if you're going to run away, to your core muscles, or your main skeletal muscles, the thing that enable you to either do this fight or flight mechanism. It also, not only does it deliver more oxygen and glucose, because that's also needed in respiration, it will also remove waste products at a faster rate. So don't forget, when you respire, you need to get rid of your carbon dioxide and your other type of waste products as well. So water is in there as well. You need to get rid of those. And if you have more blood flowing around your body at a faster rate, that is also removed quicker. So that's the first thing. Heart muscles contract more, higher heart rate, more delivery of oxygen and glucose in your blood to the major muscle groups. The second thing that can happen is your blood vessels can alter. So kind of the second thing is all to do with this section here, how your blood vessels change. And depending on the type of blood vessel, they will change in two ways. The first way they can change is your blood vessels can become wider. And this is really important because if your blood vessels become wider, they enable more blood to flow through them. Therefore, the blood that is containing this glucose and oxygen, which you need for respiration, it is being delivered to parts of the body at a faster rate. So, for example, my blood vessels my arteries, for example, that are reaching my leg muscles, I want there to be loads of blood going there. I'd also like there to be loads of blood going to my torso and my upper body, my arms, because if I'm going to fight or run away, that flight mechanism, I want loads of blood reaching there, so it gets wider. Alternatively, I also want there to be blood vessels that get narrower. So the other thing that can happen is certain blood vessels from, for example, your extremities, so hands, fingers, your feet, your toes, in fact, even your brain, the blood vessels that go to these places, they will become reduced. And the reason this is because during this fight or flight mechanism, you don't need a high amount of blood to these areas. You don't need a huge amount of blood to your hands and toes, because you don't need the oxygen there. You need it in your powerful muscle groups, your skeletal muscle groups, and you don't need a huge amount extra towards your brain, because actually you're kind of into this animalistic fight or flight mechanism. Your thinking capacity isn't as high as it would be in a normal situation, so you also reduce blood to that bit. The third thing that happens, and I'll just zoom into this section here, is how your liver will change. So your liver is a storage for a lot of glycogen. And as we'll learn later in the topic, glycogen is how your body stores glucose. And of course, glucose is needed for respiration. So you've got a massive store of potential glucose in your liver. You just need to have it made available. So what happens is when the adrenaline is released, it converts the glycogen into glucose inside your liver cells, and that glucose flows around inside your blood, and it delivers it to these respiring cells so that you can carry out anaerobic respiration and then potentially even anaerobic and aerobic respiration at the same time. So 3 things happen. Heart rate increases, and that's to deliver more blood because the blood contains glucose and oxygen. Second thing that happens is you have your blood vessels change. They become wider to areas that are really important, and they become more narrow for areas that are not so important during this mechanism. And finally, your liver will convert glycogen into glucose, so we can use that glucose in respiration, both aerobic and anaerobic. Okay, thank you for watching this. Any questions, let me know.